Hey, I love therapy, and in fact, I've been going to therapy since I was around 6 years old. Though I talk about therapy a lot and may interview some therapists on the show on occasion, nothing that is said in this podcast should be considered a replacement for therapy. If you are struggling, I urge you to please seek guidance from a therapist because you are absolutely worth it.
All right, let's go. It's been a minute. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wine Dine in 69. I'm your host, Rachel Dalton, and I'm a few cocktails in here, so we're off to a good start. I am here with one of my best friends in the entire world, Samantha Simpson.
Hello.
Who has, I wish I knew, I should have looked it up. If I were a good podcast host, I would have looked up what episode it was.
It wasn't number 69.
It's not number 69.
I feel embarrassed and slighted, and I will take that rage with me to my grave.
So, but here's the cool thing is that when that episode aired, we were just starting to get to know each other.
Yes.
So we were in a show together, and like this is like my favorite little factoid, and anybody who, you know, meets us in our friendship, I'm always like, okay, so anybody who knows Pride and Prejudice, these cosmos are hitting. Anybody who knows Pride and Prejudice knows that Jane and Elizabeth Bennet are like two peas in a pod.
Yes.
Two peas in a pod. And just so happened that you and I were cast as Jane and
Exactly.
Lizzie Bennet.
And we'd never met before.
Never had met. And then it was like kismet. Mm-hmm. And then, so that episode, even though we'd only known each other for maybe 2 months at the time that episode came out, it's pretty crazy.
That's insane to think about. I think it helped our, like, development of our friendship, the fact that we just, like, trauma dumped the shit out of each other, like, immediately. So that definitely made it feel like our friendship had been, you know.
We do have to mention the review.
What was the review?
The review that we got.
Oh, yes, the review, the best review ever. I think I just shorted out the mic. I'm sorry.
But yeah, we were in this show, Miss Bennet Christmas at Pemberley. Shout out to all the geese.
Woo, honk.
Oh, honk honk. But we were in this show together where we were playing sisters, and we got this review for one of the shows where they were like Lizzie and Jane like really felt like sisters and best friends. And we were like, that's because we're obsessed with each other.
We're obsessed with each other, exactly. And nothing has changed. Just
we're here on a Sunday night. Just drinking Cosmos, watching Love is Blind, and stuffing our faces.
Fantastic.
So, okay, we're here to get the elephant in the room out of the way. It's been a minute since I posted my last episode. So the last episode that I posted was in October of 2020. Do you want to do the honors and tell people what's happened since then?
Oh, God. Since which date?
Like mid-October 2024.
Mid-October 24. Like for me personally, or like for both of us?
Let's start with the world at large.
Oh, the world at large. I mean, we're now in, Nazi Germany, 1930, whatever. Aside from that, should we start with that?
Yeah, that's the elephant in the room. So the last episode I posted was in October, and then life happened. Yes. Life in the sense of the death of democracy. Also, side note, I just showed Sam this video called The 6th of January, which is one of the most hysterical things I've ever seen. It's like one of those like laugh so you don't cry situations. So I'll post it in the episode notes. And then, I mean, that was fucking crazy and has continued to be fucking crazy. We're recording this on February 16th, 2025. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, and I if you're listening to this, like, I don't need to tell you what the insanity has been. But it's just interesting that's like, this podcast is like a time capsule in so many ways. Personally, my mom had brain surgery, so that's why I haven't been around. that's been something I'll get into at another time entirely. But it's been, I've gone through a lot of changes in the last year, and especially in the last few months. But the reason I dropped off the face of the earth and stopped posting episodes is because my mom had brain surgery, and recovery has been kind of tough. But for you haven't been around on this podcast anyway. You've been mentioned.
Yes, because I'm very famous.
Yes, but you have not been featured.
True.
Shall we say? So
True.
Since December of 2022.
Oh God.
Again, you can share whatever you want. It doesn't need to. If it's things you don't want to share, you don't need to. You share whatever you want. What have you learned? What have you sacrificed? What have you just tell us all the things.
So when I recorded my story episode with you in December of 2020, whatever, because time is a construct and I can't figure out years anymore. No. I was very happily in a relationship and very much sort of reflecting on how much I'd learned and how much I had kind of taken away from all of these horribly shitty relationships of mine in the past. And then, wouldn't you know it, that relationship turned out to be the shittiest one yet. And it was basically just super emotionally abusive, super I think one of the final straws was you literally texting me wondering if I'd had the shit beaten out of me because of something that had occurred that was completely out of my control that threatened my my lovely boyfriend.
Yeah, I mean it's important to mention here we're actors, right? And we do that. And people who are sane understand that acting is acting.
Yes.
In this particular situation, your partner at the time did not seem to understand that there was a line between acting and not acting.
Not at all. Not at all.
So
that was great and fantastic for my mental health. And since then I've been in another serious relationship that has crashed and burned into the void. And so
basically a good person.
Yes, a good person, but somebody who was maybe not as self-aware as
you were looking for.
I need.
Uh-huh.
And also, honestly, so many of my ever since the failed engagement, where
Rapunzel, no, not Rapunzel,
Sleeping Beauty. I was gonna say, longtime listeners of the show will remember this as the reverse Sleeping Beauty story. Ever since that relationship ended, I've been so acutely aware of whenever a guy starts to threaten my friendships because he is threatened by my friendships.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm so in tune to now, and it's something that it occurred with both of the last ones. So it's been interesting.
Well, I mean, I think the beautiful thing about a situation like that is the beautiful thing, right?
Air quotes.
How much you learned about. I remember conversations where you were super hard on yourself.
Sure.
Throughout these situations where you've said I've done the work, I figured the things out that I want for myself, why do I keep getting involved in these situations? And I remember I think saying to you, there is nothing wrong with assuming good in people.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
If people do not earn that, then that's on them. That's not on you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that's been it's caused a lot of difficulty with me throughout much of my life, is this kind of feeling of being so acutely aware that kindness is not weakness, but at the same time knowing that it has screwed me over time and time again.
Yeah.
I literally just posted something on my Instagram story the other day where it's just like a panda bear is just as strong as any other bear, and it has big claws and it can bite you, but yet it chooses to be silly, and there is strength in that. And so I am very much like the panda bear, but also like, you know, I'm kind of getting eaten alive here. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's something beautiful about that, though.
Yeah.
The complexity of you could let the world harden you,
yeah,
but you do not let it.
There's a lot of strength in remaining soft, but there's also a lot of people who will take advantage of you because of that softness. So
And
it's finding the balance.
Yes, and that's something that we've been talking about a lot because of some changes that I've had in my life recently, where I've something happened back in spring of last year, which I kind of alluded to on the podcast, and I, talked about openly. But separate from that, an event happened simultaneously at the same time that made me realize that I needed to start taking care of myself better. And I needed to start being a little more selfish because I have historically given other people a lot of my energy, only to be met with not the same energy. So my relationship, my friendship with you has been, and also my partner, who we don't say his name on the podcast, but who you are very close with.
Yes.
My relationship with the two of you made me realize, like, oh yeah, like this is what I want, and this is what I deserve, and we deserve that in our friendships, and we deserve that in our romantic relationships.
Yeah.
So I don't know, being aware of that softness, but also being aware of the boundaries that we try to set.
Yeah.
And being the soft panda, but also knowing that you can be the intense one with claws and strength, and because they can break bamboo.
Absolutely.
And bamboo is not easy to break in half. So also very appropriate for your Instagram handle.
Yes, it very much is for anybody who knows me personally.
So you're back on the market.
I am. And I've had just so many, riveting and, emotionally fulfilling interactions with men.
Sorry. I made eye contact with you and I was like, I can't. Y'all, it's rough out there.
It's a cesspool. It's a yes, there are so many fish in the sea, but most of those fish are
rotting.
Those weird little fuckers that have headlamps coming off, and an underbite that goes 6 inches past the base of their skull, and all that kind of stuff.
And to be clear, she's not talking about physical.
No, not at all. I'm talking about emotionally. I'm talking about from an emotional intelligence standpoint. The people that I'm dealing with,
because listen, we're here. We are two decently attractive women in our mid-30s,
yes.
right? But we also know that we prize emotional intelligence above anything.
Absolutely,
right? So, to be clear, we're not talking physically.
No, not at all. No. We're talking emotionally, spiritually.
But let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I was not expecting 12 minutes to go by for us to get past all the gross stuff, but let's just dive into this. So, okay. Mm-hmm. Where do you want to start with what?
Oh gosh.
With what the dating pool is like right now in the year of our Lord 2025?
Well, there's a lot of pee in it.
Okay. The waters are muddied with urine.
There's a lot of pee in it. Let's see.
Don't pee in the pool. It's not good.
Don't pee in the pool. I amongst the most recent encounters I've had with people that I've met.
I'm please talk about the one that I'm hoping you're going to talk about.
That I've met through dating apps.
Yeah.
Is let's see, one person who very politely on our second date asked me if he could eat me out in my car. But he did say, may I?
Oh, we like good grammar.
So
We're
that
both
was
English majors.
honestly that was a right direction. But just a little too soon, a a little too soon. Maybe like read the room. I'd also like just said how extremely tired I am because like I'm a teacher, I'm an actress, I'm busy as shit. I'm like permanently exhausted pigeon over here. Yeah, I've got shit to do. So, you know, like being eaten out in a parking lot at like midnight was not exactly on my to-do list for that Tuesday, and it seemed like it was very
it's very it's kind because you're like, oh, you need to relax. Let me help you relax. But you can't help but think it feels like you're trying to prove something. Like, in the middle of a parking lot.
In a parking lot.
A Wegmans parking lot.
In a Wegmans parking lot.
It was a Wegmans parking lot.
It might as well have been. So there was that. There was the guy who on our first, and spoiler alert, last date, had about 9 margaritas and started incessantly pestering me about snuggling. Wanted to snuggle that night and wanted to snuggle immediately. Oh, and one thing I haven't told you yet.
Oh God, here we go.
Because
on the air.
Because I didn't even have like I was like too. Maybe I was still trying to give some kind of benefit of the doubt when I originally told the story, but now like thinking back, I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, you told the story. You told the story a week ago.
Yes.
You, me, and my partner were watching the Super Bowl at our apartment.
Go Birds.
Yeah, go Birds. My partner and I are moving to a house a week from today, so that's exciting. Yeah. So we were watching the Super Bowl, and you told us about this date.
Yes.
Which and me and my partner were like, yeah, there are some kind of like orange flags. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, that might be chalked up to nervousness. Sure. That might be chalked up to... You know, just because he clearly thought you were super pretty, which, like, very, very nice to hear. Yes.
Sure.
Thank you
absolutely.
very much.
Yeah.
I'm 35 years old. Like, I'm aware. Like, I'm aware I'm very pretty. Thank you. It's like that I sent you the Swan Princess.
Yes! That was so good!
I loved the Swan Princess when I was, like, 6. Yes. But, like, this, like, you're beautiful. Well, what else is there?
What else is there?
Like, but... I don't know. Like, is there something aside from beauty?
Exactly.
Yeah, like, I'd like to hear more than I'm pretty. I'd like to hear I'm intelligent. I'd like to hear. So anyway, you were sharing all these things, and we were like, maybe he was nervous, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But mid-game...
In real time...
You were sitting on the sofa with us.
Yes.
And you get this text.
And the text is just pestering me about snuggling again. So, but what I didn't tell you, because I apparently still have some sense of shame, even though, you know, you would think not, was he also told me at some point during that date about his guns that he has. And I'm like, maybe that's not something you should tell a woman who's like constantly kind of afraid that she's going to be like, you know...
Interesting choice on his
murdered.
part,
And he was very careful to say like, oh, you know, he likes to go to like, you know, ranges and stuff like that. And, you know, we'd had the political talk, so I knew it wasn't like, you know, like a MAGA situation. Yeah. Things like that. But also it's like, you want me to go back to your place to snuggle where the guns are.
I have anxiety, and also I don't know you.
I have anxiety. I don't know you. There's guns there. No one's ever gonna see or hear from me again. Like, it's just sort of like use like common sense is not common.
No, and I mean, okay, so this is something that we've talked about over the last week since this experience, which is advice for men. Don't bring up anything physical.
Oh my God.
And, like, I think that many men think that, like, oh, well, it's snuggling, it's not sex. If I play up the fact that I like snuggling, it'll make me feel safe.
Spooning leads to forking.
Yes. Frequently. I mean, but also, like, that's, and look, I'm not saying that every guy who says that he likes to snuggle is a fucking liar and is just trying to...
Not every guy.
Not all men. Like, I'm not saying that, obviously. Mm-hmm. Like, many men love to snuggle, but,
yes.
Like...
I love to snuggle. I love to snuggle.
Yes, but it's just so frequently snuggling can turn into a boner, which can turn into us feeling guilty that we're not helping to alleviate said boner.
Right. Because blue balls are a thing we're taught about, you know, when we were, you know, children. Yeah.
Yeah, like I had a boyfriend who was like, kneeled over in pain saying, if you would just help me, like I wouldn't, like tear, like a single tear.
How many times do you wish you could go back in time and just kick him?
Every day of my life. Every day of my life.
Square in the testes.
Yeah, every fucking day. If you're listening to this,
you know who you are.
You know who you are, and every day I think about telling your wife who you are. I hope you're doing so well.
So well. Oh my God. Thoughts and prayers. XOXO.
Gossip girl.
Gossip squirrel.
So if we're giving men advice here on the apps, you just showed me a dating profile.
Which one?
The one with the second point.
Oh.
Yeah, that one.
The second point of this old dating profile that I took a screenshot of a while ago was I love anal. That was the second second
right
bullet point.
If you agree.
Yeah.
Swipe right if you agree.
Swipe
Which,
right
like,
if you agree.
listen, I am so happy for you if you found out what kinks work for you. I don't even care if that's in your fucking profile. I'm gonna swipe no on you if that's in your profile.
Yes, correct.
But to make it your second point?
Second. Like, okay, this is more important to me than almost anything else.
Anal, greater than everything. Listen, so happy for you if that's what you have determined is for you. Because we don't kink shame here, right? Like,
I mean, I kink shame a little bit.
Well,
but
yes, but I do not kink shame. There are some kinks that make me go, okay, interesting.
Kinks that make you go, okay.
Is that a thing?
Some stupid, 90s song. Kinks that make you go, ugh.
Yes. There
You can cut that part.
There's some kinks out there that make me go, okay, interesting. Like, tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
But part of the ethos of this podcast is being curious by nature, right? So
yes.
I'll ask somebody about it, and even if I'm like, yeah, I still don't need to do that, I feel glad that I've asked questions and that I've understood other members of my human species better, etc. So here we are, though. Aside from the gun kink, which probably isn't a gun kink, but there is a gun kink. Do you know what my dad always says? He talks. Oh my god! I should do an episode where I just read you guys my dad's texts about Donald Trump because they're.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing!
They're fucking incredible.
I'm here for it.
They're fucking incredible. But my dad always talks about men who are Trumpies. Who just need to go fondle their guns.
Yeah.
It's a sexual affair.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Look, there are plenty of good people in the world who own firearms.
Oh, for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
But bringing it up on the first date is an interesting call.
Yeah, bringing it up on the first date is a very interesting
And then to follow it up with...
You want to go back to my apartment filled with guns.
Yes. I have anxiety.
Right, just you'll snuggle me, I'll snuggle the guns,
It'll be a little
exactly.
Spooning.
Be perfect. I did just come across another great screenshot you might be interested in, though.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Which is this was sent by a gentleman who contacted me, and his first message.
A gentleman caller?
Yeah, a gentleman caller. Oh my lucky stars. His first message to me was, "What a great wife material," with
he's right,
with a fire emoji and a kissy face emoji, which the emojis, whatever.
We're not picky out here.
That this was at 4:05 in the morning. I, needless to say, did not respond.
Sure.
At
4:05
quickly.
Yeah.
At 10:06 in the morning, he sent eggplant emoji ? You want some?
Sir, are you okay?
Obviously, the answer is no. So we very quickly graduated from "Oh my God, you are wife material" to "Do you want this eggplant?" So. Which also reminds me of another favorite that I have told you about recently, which for those who don't know me in person, I'm a very tall lady. I'm 5'10", and I always put that in my profile because like some people love that, and some people like don't want a girl that's like taller than them, and I want to be honest with people about who I am and what I look like, right?
Is there a fair amount of men who are not honest?
Absolutely. I got a message recently from a man, and his opener. This wasn't like a mid
first
opener.
Shot.
Opening ceremony message read, "I'm 5'6". Can I still ride the ride?" Guess if I responded to that or not.
Here's the thing. If I were a healthy person,
that's a big if for me.
I would find that hysterical. Tucker in the year of our Lord 2025 when Donald J. Trump
Donald J. Trump, everybody.
When Donald J. Trump is our president for the second time.
Oh, God.
I'm not mentally well. I'm not okay. Look, I can acknowledge that that's quippy. That's funny.
Yeah.
I can acknowledge that.
Maybe it should have been like message number 3.
Yes. Like, but I think, so I'll never forget, like, when I worked at Best Buy once upon a time. And I remember, like, a friend of mine, great guy, really great guy, like, decent person, like, didn't have a lot of luck with the ladies. And so, he was like, I have a friend who's a girl. I'm going to talk to her about these type of things. Mm-hmm. So he asked me, like, Rachel, like, what's like best pickup line, like, for a guy? Mm-hmm. And I just said, hey. And he was like, hey, yourself. Like, what? And I was like, no, the best pickup line is like, hey, what's going on? Like, tell me a little bit about you.
Right. Yeah. Just simple.
And he was like, that's not funny. And I was like, you don't need to be funny. So I think that there's a lot of fixation on this pickup line.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't need to be funny. Now, to be fair, what we do need to talk about here, which is, I mean, it means a lot more to wade through for women, but mm-hmm. I do acknowledge that it's harder for men. The dating apps are a women's world right now.
Sure. Yeah.
Because they're just the sheer mass of people on dating apps. And the fact of the matter is that we're just dealing, I mean, and we're talking specifically also here, our experience.
Yeah.
Is straight relationships. Mm-hmm. And that's not to say that other relationships are not important. It is just to say that this is our experience.
If I had another option, I'd go with it. But,
yeah,
you know,
right. We're stuck with what we were biologically blessed with.
Sexuality is not a choice.
No, indeed not. So, like, I just think that we should be focusing more on connection and less on what if you were just yourself, and what if you just came across genuinely instead of having to be funny. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of pressure to stand out, and I understand that for guys, right? Because, like, I mean, I think I've showed you the screenshot of when I was on Hinge, mm-hmm. and I would wake up to like 101 notifications.
Sure,
and I'm sure it's the same for you. Like, you're constantly inundated, and you like, if you're a guy dating a woman, like, you feel like you need to stand out. Mm-hmm. So for you, what would be the thing that somebody could say that would make them stand out for you?
Literally just acknowledgement that they have read your profile.
Bingo.
And that there's something that they liked about you other than just your picture. Because so many people, and I say people because I think everybody does this, but especially men, straight men, my only experience, use dating apps like it's smash or pass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where it's just like, if I would be willing to have sex with this person, I'm going to swipe right. If not, I'm going to swipe left.
Didn't even read your profile.
Mm-hmm. Like, the amount of men that I have, gotten these, like, messages, likes, roses, super likes, whatever the fuck the platform is offering from men who just, like, either are, like, super conservative or, have just whatever views that are so just diametrically opposed from my own. It's like, you did nothing but liked something about my pictures. Mm-hmm. So it's like, why would any of that interest me whatsoever?
Yeah. And it's we were talking about something about this too, where you went on and share as much or as little about this as you want, but you went on a date and you texted me and you were like, he seems to really like how intelligent I am.
Yeah.
And I was like, A, green flag.
Right.
B, depressing that's something to be surprised at.
Very depressing.
Right?
Yeah.
That's oh, he likes how smart I am, or he likes spending time with me, or he likes the things that I say, not just the way that I look when I say them.
Yeah, I definitely had I had a very good date very recently, and it really did just highlight how incredibly lacking so many of my previous relationships have been, because the majority of the guys that I have been in relationships with, the main thing they've liked about me is the way I look and or how sweet I am.
And we discussed sweet is code for
submissive.
Yeah.
And sweet is code for I can walk all over you.
Right.
And sweet is code for I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Sweet is code for my needs matter, and you'll always put my needs as top tier.
Exactly.
But your needs will never matter.
Right. And if you ever try to prioritize your own needs, which, go back and see the reverse Sleeping Beauty episode, I'm going to completely just reject you as a person because you're not sweet anymore. Because you dared to have a human need of your own that wasn't revolving around me.
So this is a question I haven't asked you before, and we'll cut to a commercial break here in a second because we are out of drinks. But here's a question that I want to ask you, and then you can think about it a little bit.
Okay.
While we make the next round of drinks.
Perfect.
What are you doing? And this is not a victim blamey thing.
I wouldn't expect
Let
it
me make that straight.
I know you.
This is, what are you doing to make it clear that you're not to be fucked with? What are you doing on your dating profile to make it clear I'm not just this sweet person, I'm not just this pretty person? What can women learn from what you are trying to? Because online dating is a game where you're always trying to okay, that didn't work, so how do I adjust that to do this? So what have you adjusted this time around based on these things that you've learned through this experience? And with that, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break.
Hi, this is Sarah, and I created Guided by Glow. Have you ever listened to a guided meditation and wished that it would take a sexy turn? If your answer is yes, keep listening, because I made a treasure trove of erotic audio to hold space for you to feel deeply connected to your body and spirit while being sexual. All Glow sessions begin with a small drop-in to your body, your senses. Then they evolve fairly quickly into an erotic, climactic scenario spoken directly to you. If you like what you hear, we have so many more waiting for you on the App Store and on guidedbyglow.com. You can use the code podcast to access a month free of unlimited listening. We hope you enjoy. Please share with your friends. Tell us what you think. Rate us on the App Store. Help Glow's mission to create shame-free, judgment-free erotic content. But first, pop on those headphones, take a deep breath, and press play.
The really cute recording of you and our other close friend. Yes, I agree.
I did not. I'm so sorry. I'm such an asshole. I just reposted it. It's so cute.
It's a very good picture. Yes. If you are in the Philadelphia area, come and see it. Go ahead and plug.
please come and see the Philadelphia Story. I'm pulling out my thing right now. At Playcrafters of Skipback. It is running March 14th through the 29th. There are 10 total shows, and it is so much fun if you love anything old Hollywood. And the movie, there was a movie in like 1940 made of this, which was like Katharine Hepburn, who I'm playing her character. I'm so incredibly psyched about
Dream role
that.
for you.
Yes, dream role for me since college.
You've had a poster on your wall
Yes.
since I've known you
Yep.
of the Philadelphia
I've
Story.
had that poster on my wall for like a decade.
Yep.
So it was Katharine Hepburn, Cary Grant, and Jimmy Stewart. And so, yeah, we're doing it at Playcrafters of Skipback from mid to late March. And I'm very, very excited.
Yeah.
And one of our closest friends is in
One of
it as
our
well.
close friends who played my husband in the show that we met in, but has played your love interest in many times.
Several times.
in the past. Is in it. So yeah,
Yes.
if you're in the area, come see it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you're in the hot seat. What are you doing differently? What are you doing to make? I mean, the fact that I have to like ask the question, like, what are you doing to make people take you seriously? Sounds like we're in like 2003.
I'm not
Legally
dressing
Blonde.
like such a slut so people don't think. No,
Exactly.
No, not at all. I'm dressing more slutty actually, but no, in all reality, one thing that I have absolutely changed is in like the what are you looking for section.
Yep.
I used to just sort of put like I used to focus more on the qualities I was looking for in a person, right? Like empathy, emotional intelligence, silliness, etc. Which somebody actually somewhat recently responded to me to one of those prompts that said something about that and said, I think you should find yourself like an Irish setter or something.
Yeah, I think you should find
I'm
yourself
like,
an asshole.
that's an interesting way to tell on yourself.
Tell on yourself that you're like a shitty person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But for the what are you looking for section in particular, I have kind of shifted to putting that I'm looking for a true partner. I'm looking for a best friend. I'm looking to not be on either side of any power dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that I have routinely found myself in relationships where I kind of take on the parent role.
Mm-hmm. There, yeah.
Which I don't enjoy.
You're like, I'm ready to like be a mother to like a child.
Not to like
a 45-year-old man.
Exactly, yeah. And so that's part of it. And the other part, honestly, is observing you in your relationship and observing my other best friend, whose name is also Rachel, which isn't at all confusing, in her relationship, because I see both of you guys with partners that are truly supportive and loving, and you guys are both your own teams. And I think that part of me sees that as proof that that's possible and not something that I'm being selfish or unrealistic.
You're not looking for an
hoping
Irish setter.
I'm
Like,
not.
and whoever said that is a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And like, tell me that you're an asshole without telling me that you're an asshole.
Exactly.
No, I think that's great. I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that prompt because that's actually the prompt that made my partner reach out to me.
Yeah.
Because I posted a laundry list in
Yeah.
that prompt, which was like, I'm looking for somebody empathetic, somebody who knows how to set their pride aside, somebody who knows how to be a member of a team, somebody who knows, and I mean, I was getting lots of traffic on my Hinge profile.
Yeah.
And but this guy reached out to me and said, really ballsy, like in all honesty, oh, I'm almost all of those things. Let's get together and talk about it.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, okay, that's a little like presumptuous that like you're like, I fit all of those qualities.
The fact though that he also said almost all of them, I think, is very telling as far as his own emotional
that he's like, I'm not
stuff.
perfect.
Yeah.
Like, no. And from there, he was just one of many faces at first. But from there, I was just like, all right, this person's in the top 3. I don't know if you operate that way, but like, I totally was like, these are my top 5. These are my top 3.
Sure.
Like, these are the people I'm prioritizing.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. There's always people, you prioritize more.
So, it like put him up to the top.
Yeah.
And another thing that I remember that we just talked about a couple hours ago is the intelligence piece, right? That like having somebody who sees you for who you are and acknowledges, again, Swan Princess, like, you're more than what you look like.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I think if I could give any unsolicited advice to the men folk out there, or, like, even women who are interested in dating women, like,
Sure.
you know, just, yes, being able to, like, being attracted to your partner matters.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yes, you should want to fuck your partner.
Sure. Yeah.
Is that going to matter 30 years from now? To some extent, yeah, it will. It will.
I mean, you shouldn't be repulsed by the person that, you know, you're
right. But, like, is that really going to be your primary reason for wanting to be with somebody 30 years from now? Like, really? And so, like, these asks to snuggle, again, for somebody who's a little less damaged than us.
Yeah.
AKA somebody who's, like, in their early 20s, which is why Leonardo DiCaprio, lest we forget,
exactly.
dates women.
For sure.
Because he dates women who will laugh at that line about being tall enough to
riding the ride. Yeah.
When I was 24, I would have found that fucking hysterical.
I'm not sure I ever would have found that.
You know, like, I would have found that so funny. But that's because my personality, and to be quite honest, my personality, like, even at the point that I started this podcast, was about wanting to be the cool, fun girl who talked about sex openly and who talked about all of these things.
Yeah.
You know, and
the Gone Girl thing.
The Gone Girl thing, which I've... listeners will know I've talked a lot about the Gone Girl thing, that men want the cool girl, and we are conditioned that you should want to be the cool girl.
Absolutely. And also, speaking of all of these dating profiles, you can tell that by the amount of men who are like, the key to my heart, being an Eagles fan. The key to my heart, watching sports with me.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
I think I told you, I found a study that, I think, like, the majority of men said that they would prefer to see the Eagles win the Super Bowl than to find the love of their life. So, I hope you guys have a great time being alone.
Yeah, and cheers to my most recent relationship.
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry that the last time I saw you, I told you I hated you. I don't actually hate you. I just thought you weren't right for my friend. You're a very decent person.
You're a very decent person, but I do fully believe that you like sports more than me. So there we are.
There it is.
On the level of men that have traumatized me, you're very low. But on the level of men who preferred sports to me, you're very high.
Oh, God. I mean, that's...
Kisses.
That's all the best. Besos. No. So... And that's worth mentioning too. I mean, because the emotional... Let's dive into that. The emotional intelligence... not emotional... Okay, I spoke too soon.
Let's back up.
The emotions that men are able to display.
Just emotions, yes. Mm-hmm.
The emotions that men are able to display when they are watching sports. And in some cases, emotional intelligence, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I have been in a relationship where I so desperately wished that my partner would give two shits about the way that I felt about our relationship as much as he cared about whether the Michigan State Spartans won.
Yep.
So to see somebody lose their mind and not be able to talk to me for 3 hours because the Michigan State Spartans lost, who I'm from East Lansing, Michigan, y'all. Like, I fucking get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I grew up going to MSU games.
Yeah.
But to feel second to a sports game,
yes,
it's just not a very nice feeling.
And I mean, that's a reflection again of this whole toxic masculinity thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like men are taught that the only way they can feel emotion is in these very small. So it's like
you can pat your friend's butt if you're on the field with him.
You can smack your friend's butt if you're on the field, and there's nothing wrong about it. But if you do that off the field, then you're extremely gay. So.
And listen, we say this from a perspective of like feeling that is not fair and that should not be the case. And that's why feminism is for everybody.
Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Yeah, like, I think that, like, the fact that so many men seem to only feel comfortable expressing emotions when it revolves around sports, that hurts everyone.
Uh-huh. 100%.
That hurts everyone.
It hurts you, it hurts the people you're dating. I mean, and look, like we have some very close friends who are super intense about sports.
Absolutely.
And their partners, they do that together.
Yeah.
But I have, I'm not in the relationship, but I have every faith that the relationship is strong outside of
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Right.
And that's just something they share together.
It's something that they share together. They're both Eagles fanatics or
Exactly.
whatever.
And that's
but it's
great.
it's not one thing being sacrificed for another.
Right.
It's love all around.
Yeah, exactly.
Love for the Eagles, love for within the relationship, healthy love all
just
around.
something that they're excited about together. And that's fine. But like if that's when that's the only thing that men can be excited about and can love, that's a problem. And that's a problem for everyone.
Yeah.
But it is really funny because it reminds me of a play that I was in also with our same
friend.
Our same
that
dear
you've been
friend
married to like 6
that I've been
times.
married
Yeah.
to a million times. My relationship with him has lasted longer than anybody else. Anyway.
Shout out to him and his long-term girlfriend.
Yes, exactly.
They're great.
We did a play together years ago called Melancholy Play, which is by Sarah Rule, one of my favorite playwrights.
I read that recently.
Yeah, it's great. It's right up there, falling apart on my shelf somewhere. And my character in the play, I played Tilly, she had a line at one point to our friend's character. And she said, most men only have 2 emotions, happy and mad. Mm-hmm. You're not like that. And that was the moment that character started to see something, like she started to fall in love with this other character because she saw he wasn't like that. He had more emotions than just happy and mad.
Yeah. Or horny. I mean, a lot of men feel like they can be happy, mad, or horny.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I would argue for most men that falls in the happy category.
Maybe.
But
or the anger category.
I mean, depending on the type of horny, I guess.
Totally.
But, it's so true though. Like, and it's sad, and it's sad for everyone involved. And for the men who have been taught that feeling emotions outside of a certain small box is, makes them less of a man. That makes me incredibly sad for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like it's so hard because you want to, as a woman, want something for yourself. And it's possible to hold this experience of manhood, right, that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And to think about how sad that is. Yeah. That is the experience for so many men, and to go, the fact that you just either you're the dynamic that you were taught or what you witnessed between your parents was this dynamic that made you not understand the world in a greater, a bigger way. You can feel for that, but at the same time, it's just but that's not what I want for me.
Yeah, you can simultaneously feel for somebody who is obviously not experiencing the world in as much color as you are.
And wish that they could.
And wish that they would join you. You can
jealous
simultaneously
of, how black and white it is.
Right.
For me, I'm jealous of how black and white.
I mean, sometimes I am too. We've absolutely had the conversations of it seems like being a bit dumber would be
less self-aware
such
and just
a better deal sometimes.
Less empathetic, less self-aware. Just I operate in the world. I see what's in front of me, and I go with that.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's straight.
I don't know what that's like. I don't know what that's like. But you can simultaneously feel bad for people for not being able to see all the nuances in the world that you do, and also feel for yourself that it's not enough. Mm-hmm. If you're with somebody who not only doesn't see it, but refuses to work on seeing it.
Or is just, they're just happy there.
Or they're just happy there.
Which is, fine.
Which is fine, and that's fair.
But it's important to be honest with yourself and be honest with the people that you're with.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's definitely, one of those things where, I don't know, being somebody who is empathetic and is... I feel like empathetic even gets like a bad rap now because like so many shitty people are just being like, oh my god, I'm an empath, and I'm just like,
oh god, this is a perfect time to tell the story of my shitty ex-boyfriend, who was my boyfriend when I started this podcast, who, I mean, he has so much trauma that he hasn't dealt with. Sure. So, like, listen, blessings. Like, I wish you the best.
Concepts of thoughts and prayers.
Concepts of thoughts and prayers. Concepts of a plan. Concepts of thoughts and prayers. That was really good.
Snorted right into the microphone.
This fucking fucker, you know, on like our second or third date, claimed to be an empath. And I was like, do you really consider yourself to be an empath? He was like, I do. And I was like, so you know that like an empath is somebody who like feels people's feelings as if it is their own, right? And he was like, well, like I'm like, I just mean I'm empathetic. And I'm like, right, but like that's not like an empath. Like an empath is like somebody who like has a really hard time, like, you know, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Anyway. So this fucker. This is another thing that's happened between now and when I published my last episode. So this person, for context, and I used to be quiet about my, I don't know if it's disdain or what it is for this person that I have. It's just, it's a complex. Look, I don't look at anybody as black and white. I see this person. I see the pain that they have been through that they refuse to acknowledge.
Sure.
And I see why they are the way that they are. But as I also always say, it is an explanation, not an excuse.
Not an excuse. Not, absolutely not.
Yes. And so this person, when I started dating him, didn't have any money to the point where I bought him his first trash can. Mm-hmm. His first kitchen trash can. He had like one of those like wire mesh ones that he just had like a garbage bag in his kitchen.
Sure.
And he was like, I think we were 28, 29 when this happened. And we dated for 4 years. Bought him the trash can. And when we first started dating, he was kind of a mooch. He made a lot of money, but he was very dedicated to paying off his student loans, which I admired. Sure. And still, if you're listening, admire that dedication to wanting to pay those loans off. So he was very, like, he was like cutting costs wherever he could, except with like alcohol. Like,
you make exceptions.
You make exceptions.
Priorities.
Yeah. So, but when I met him, he was using the Netflix account of a girl that he went on 2 or 3 dates with. Her mom's Netflix account he was using, not even hers, her mother's, because she had logged into it when they were like hanging out once, sure. And so he just like kept using it. So I shouldn't be surprised. When I was home, I moved home for 6 weeks between November and December of 2024 to help take care of my mom and just in general spend more time with my family. My dad comes up to me and goes, hey, Rachel, ex-boyfriend's name, it looks like he's still receiving the magazine subscriptions that your mom bought for him 3 years ago. And I was like, oh, interesting. Like, I thought mom canceled those. And he was like, yeah, well, apparently not. So my dad hands me the piece of paper. This fucker updated his address. Okay, and I should say, he paid off his student loans when we were together. He got a nice apartment that was like $2,500 a month. He makes like almost $200K a year. Close to it, if not that.
And he's ripping off your mom for
and
a magazine.
And he's ripping off my mother, who has stage 4 cancer. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. I Googled that address because I wanted to see how nice that fucking apartment was that he needed to use.
Sure.
My mom's money.
I'm guessing it was.
It's a really fucking nice apartment. And
hate mail. All the hate mail now.
I named a cockroach after you and I killed it.
You know, you can also name like a stray cat after your ex-boyfriend before it's neutered.
God, that sounds amazing.
We should do that next.
Just do that. And then we'll hit a rage room. It'll be great.
Tune in.
Next time on One Day 16. Yeah, so, and if you don't see the problem with that, you are the problem.
Yes.
Just the fact that, like, we broke up in 2021. It is now 2025.
4 years ago, yeah.
And he, like, it's one thing to continue getting a magazine delivered to your same address And then, like, you know, just, like, let it
Right.
die down, like, whatever. But to go through the effort of changing the fucking address, as my friend Sarah said yesterday, garbage, trash, human.
Agreed.
Like, and that would be the case if my mother didn't have stage 4 lung cancer, and if she didn't just have brain surgery that has left her out of sorts. But to take advantage of somebody whose brain is affected by chemotherapy in that way
Diabolical.
is just, I'm like flames on the side of my face.
Flames on the side of my face. Absolutely.
You were an awful human being. Like, you were an awful human being.
You once thought you saw him while I was driving, and
Oh yeah, you offered to hit him.
I offered to run him down. In case any police are listening, no, I didn't.
She did not. I have tried to have a lot of. I tried to be basically neutral about my ex-partners on this show.
I don't.
But I have to be honest. Two of them in particular, one of them being my first boyfriend from high school, and one of them being my most recent boyfriend before my current partner, really, 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 really royally fucked me up. So thanks for that, guys.
And I've never met either of you, but I will literally run you down on command. So, you know, just putting that out there.
Female friendship. Yeah, so this is me. It's been a minute. You know, we were kind of talking before we started recording this episode that I talked a little bit with my partner before, you know, I came over to hang out with you, knowing that we were going to do this. Just being like, I don't know that I'm the same Rachel who used to record this podcast. Because I feel like in the past year, I feel so much more rage than I did. I'm setting healthier boundaries. I am willing to end friendships and connections over my needs not being met, which I wasn't before. I was willing to put anybody's needs above my own. You tell me what you need and I'll fucking do it.
Same.
And I said to my partner, and I said to you, I was like, I don't know that I'm the same Rachel anymore. And so if I don't seem to be the same Rachel, it's partially because I've had 4 Cosmos. But it's also partially because I'm still figuring out who this new version of me is. Yeah. Because I do feel so much more anger than I used to. Mm-hmm. And I do feel so much more rage. I've done so much trauma healing. I started EMDR and I've done so much healing work, but at the same time, I don't think, and I've said this to you, Sam, like, no one told me how lonely and painful growth would be.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Nobody warned me. Like, it's like, but I'm going to therapy. I'm starting to set boundaries. Yeah. I'm starting to tell people that my needs matter. Yeah. I'm starting to say, this doesn't work for me anymore. And I've had an experience recently where I told somebody that the way that things have been working for the past however many years are not working for me anymore. And I was met with silence because that didn't work for them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that has been really, really, really painful. So, yeah, I'm not the same person that I was when I was recording this episode. Wow, this podcast in October.
Sure.
But I'm also not the same person I was when I was recording this podcast back in, last April. So, and I don't know what the future of the podcast is.
Yeah.
I really don't. We're recording this now. I have a couple more interviews in my pocket that might still be published, but I do not know.
Yeah.
So, that's where we're at.
Well, there's something really interesting about boundary setting, and like I feel like this is something I've thought about a lot, talking to you and re-examining my own boundaries as far as that goes with like dating and things like that. And yes, it can be so incredibly lonely to set boundaries and to find that, okay, if I'm raising my standards, I'm seeing that simply means that I'm going to be alone more, right? And that can be a very sad place to
Yeah.
find yourself. But also, when you don't set boundaries, when you allow people to treat you how they want and you just sort of adjust to meet their needs, you can still find yourself alone.
Yeah.
And that is the worst fucking feeling in the world, because at that point you've given this person everything you have. You've sacrificed everything for this person, and you've sacrificed your own comfort and your own needs, and it still hasn't been enough.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter in the end. Like, you can give everything you have to somebody, and they can still be like, you know what, nah, you know,
Pass.
fuck off, you know.
Yeah. Well, and we've both been in relationships
Yeah.
where the moment that we were like, actually, I have needs.
Actually, I also have human needs.
Yeah.
And they've been like, ooh, didn't sign up for that.
Bye.
Ooh, nope. Absolutely. You know, I thought this was a one-way road type of situation. And yeah. So I mean, it's like, at least when you're honoring your own boundaries, you are experiencing loneliness based on your own terms of what is important to you, and not experiencing loneliness based on somebody just being a really shitty person.
Yeah. And I mean, it's funny. I was talking with my friend Lindsay, who actually, another former guest of the podcast, I have a new job, by the way. I am writing about mental health, which has been an incredible experience. Working with former guest of the podcast, Lindsay, author of Swipe Right. I will link both Sam's episode and Lindsay's episode in the episode notes, so that you can hear both of those to kind of do like, where they were and where they are now. I'm not sure that we're in a better place now than where we were then. But
I'm just in a different shade of shit show than I was.
But hey, and at the end of the day, like, to have a sense of humor about it is everything, right?
Exactly.
So, all right, guys, we're gonna sign off here. We have episodes of Love Is Blind to watch and
Absolutely.
more Cosmos to drink.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow is a holiday for Sam, not for me. But
It's still a holiday for now. You know.
Oh yeah, right. President's Day. But you know, next year, who's to say? Did you see that to bring it back to politics? Did you see that they canceled Black History Month, and then he said that he was renaming February Black History Month?
Absolutely. It's just like the TikTok ban. Like, it's like TikTok's banned. Oh, you know what? It's okay. I, as your orange commander in fuck Tartary, have agreed to.
Can we, guys? He's the one who signed the ban.
He's the one who signed the ban.
It wasn't Biden.
And then he gave it back to us. That is like textbook narcissistic relationship.
And it's also textbook, the P word that I'm looking for.
Pedophile?
That too. No, I mean, it's just, it's people out there trying to get you to believe something. That just does not...
Pandering?
We're going to have to cut all of this. No, we're going to have to cut all of this. Propaganda.
We've reached the moment when the cosmos have overtaken the brain cells.
Propaganda is the word I'm looking for. Yeah, propaganda. Like, it's propaganda at its finest, where TikTok, I have a screenshot of it, where TikTok says, thanks to President Trump, we are back up and running.
When it was President Trump who caused the whole thing.
Yeah, it's bullshit. So, hey, if we're going to leave you with anything, it's this. Call it the bullshit when you see it.
Please.
Because there's a lot of it out there, and who knows what's to come next. So, but thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for standing witness, and you're listening to Wine Dine 69. Let's keep talking.